You're listening to Beer and That podcast, Brewers Edition. Same old hosts.
Oh, jeez, here we go. I forgot about it.
Boing.
Brand new content. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer and That, our Brewers Edition. We go down to a brewery, catch up with a brewer, and have a bit of a chat. So today we're with Brenton from Rehn Bier. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
I'm good. So
Yeah.
we're getting used to having a bit of a chat in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
So we're actually at your brewery in Tanunda at the moment. Listeners as well, make sure your beer's ready. We're going to have a bit of a chat to them beforehand. We've got the what have we got? What's our first beer? Sorry.
So this is our wet hop harvest ale, which
The wet
is
hop harvest ale.
a seasonal
Made
with locally grown Golding hop. So it's an English pale ale in style. We Anthony King from Caton Hop Garden grows the hops. And every year around late February, Kingy gives us a call. So we pack up, head out to his little hop farm, spend the day picking, have a barbecue, a few beers. Bring the hops back into the cool room here at the brewery in the afternoon. And then the next day, Kingy comes over here and we do our wet hop. And so
I'd love there to be a camera because both Simo and I have smiles. We're grinning like Cheshire cats here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Is that not the most amazing story?
Yeah, it is.
and that's what we want to really promote here is that this beer is crafted. It is, the ingredients are local. Everything in this is...
Yeah, it seems very much Barossa lifestyle too. Scratching each other's back kind of thing and helping one another out a little bit where you can.
Well, it's a good place to live in the Barossa. But yeah, our focus is on, we say we bring new life to traditional styles, and the way we do that is by obviously adding our nuances and our likes and dislikes, but also by using local or South Australian and Australian products where we can. So most of the hops we use is all from Hop Products Australia. A little bit of it's imported. Most of it's grown down in Tassie or over in Victoria. There's a local craft maltster called Barossa Valley Craft Malt, and we incorporate their malts into 3 or 4 of our beers. The Barossa Valley Pilsner is made using 50% of their malt. So,
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I've actually just had the good fortune of getting a mixed carton from you guys. Made my way through that probably a little bit too quickly. And that Pilsner is one of my absolute favourites. I was just saying to Simo before we looking at your fridge.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that.
The Pilsner was very high on my list of your beers. The Stout was probably number 1. but that Pilsner was well up there. That's really my style of beer. So
well, we like to focus. I focus mainly on malt rather than hops, and I know that's not that's not the trend.
Not the trend, but
I like an IPA like the rest of the people, but I do like when there's a focus on the malt because I think that the malt gives a lot of flavour that it's not. Quite often, it's not recognised. It's more nuanced, if you know what I mean. I mean, hops you can tell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a
Can you
shitload
tell
of hops in there.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
How hard was that to work out? But balancing your malts and your hops so that you've got a nice profile. That's more where we come from.
And so you mentioned earlier, it's traditional style beers with your little nuance or your little flavour. Is most of the stuff you brew traditionally followed traditional style, or what's the?
Well, they're all based on traditional styles of beer. So originally when we first started way back in 2012 in our back shed, we had about 4 styles. We had the Rehn Bier, we had the XSB, We had a Belgian trip ale and an extra stout. So there's 4 pretty different styles of beer. And I just like those traditional styles. I mean, they don't have to be called old styles, because we like to think that, we take them and change them to suit us. The wheat beer, for example, it's lower in alcohol, it's got less body, and it doesn't have a lot of banana and clove coming through.
Really? Okay.
But
I'll be happy about that.
yeah, but the thing is, it's a still made with 50% wheat malt.
Okay.
We don't use any additives or clarifying or any of that stuff. But it's our beer because it's made for an Australian, palate and style.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to recreate Schofferhofer or Weinstefan or anything like that. I mean, there's no point in doing that because you can't.
Yeah.
Like, you're not
That's
going to
another
beat
great-
them at that game.
No.
And we're
Yeah.
not trying to. What we're doing is sort of starting off with that and paying homage to that, but bringing it into our philosophy.
That's it. That's excellent. And doesn't that come through in your beers as well, though?
Well, I hope so, yeah.
That's
I hope so.
So you just mentioned that you were brewing those 4 beers in the shed in 2012.
Yeah.
What got you to that point? To starting in the back shed? Or you'd always had an interest in brewing
I'd
beer?
always
and-
drunk more beer than I should have.
Bubbling at the table.
I think most people do. And
So you were home
I
brewer
was
then?
a home brewer. I used to drive trucks. That's about the 3rd thing I did. And then I got married, and we had our daughter, Caitlin. And it was like, well, I can't be away for 2 weeks at a time and travelling over. So I ended up doing a bit of local stuff here and there, and found that, hey, all of a sudden I had weekends to spare. And when I wasn't working around the house and all the rest of it, Saturday afternoon was a good day. I'd get up in the shed with my Cooper's kit.
On a
And,
Cooper's kit too, isn't that lovely?
Everyone starts with
Yeah.
So I'd spend Saturday afternoon up there with the footy on the radio, a few beers, chuck it together, which was pretty basic,
Yeah.
It's not very hard. But it just took 2 or 3 hours, a little bit of hops, extra hops, blah, blah, blah.
Just the tweaks, just the home brewing,
that's
got
right.
the tweaks.
So that's how it all started, and from there I just got more and more into it, and wanted to discover more styles and make more styles. And then I met up with a few guys in the Barossa that were, there was a Barossa Valley brewers, home brewers, and a couple of those guys were full on into their all grain beers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went to a couple of brew days with those guys and just thought, wow, how much better is this?
Yeah.
It's that next level.
The next level up.
Because you can actually shape the flavour profile of your beer by making the wort, using the old grain instead of using what's already been made by somebody else. And so from there I started all grain. A lot of people would know Beer Belly,
Yes.
Wayne
yes.
and Amanda Orsler. I purchased his first ever brew system that he built.
Yeah, right.
I'd been buying homebrew supplies from them,
Yep. Yep.
and Wayne showed me a couple of prototypes that he'd built for himself. And I said, yeah, I'll take one of the three vessel ones, because I was already thinking, this might be something I could do. And I talked to him about it, and then when I actually sent him the email, he replied back and was very surprised and very happy that anyone would want to buy one. So it went from there,
Aren't we glad you did, mate?
So that's, I had that, got that in about, 2010. Spent a year and a half or so playing around with that, developing recipes further than what I had before. And I needed to do something, as in, work.
Yeah.
So we decided, my wife and I, that we'd start a little brewing business. And we tricked up the original brew system we had, and it ended up being like a 5-vessel system, so I could do 2 or 3 brews a day just to make some viable, well, they weren't really viable volumes, but they were enough volumes that we could sell
To
it.
start,
And we muddled around doing that for about 4.5 years.
Did you really?
Yeah, and in May 2015, it was like we'd actually decided that, this is fun, it's bloody hard work, but we're not making any money, so we're going to shut up. I'm going to go back and join the real world, get a real job that pays money.
We don't want to do that, man.
I didn't want to, but that was the reality. Anyway, we had a letter written to our customers as stockists, which were only probably half a dozen of them, but a lot of them, most of them, all of them, are still with us today, saying that we were going to stop and that, thanks for supporting us, but
That's life, yeah.
that's life. Let's move on. And between writing the letter on the Friday and sitting on it over the weekend, or was it writing the letter on a Tuesday? Anyway, the AIBA results had come in on the Thursday night, Friday, and our stout won a gold medal.
We're just taking photos of
Yeah,
that.
and it was like,
Talking about
wow, look at that. Here we are, and we won a gold medal against, we were in the same class as Coopers, and obviously, it was a bit of a...
The
That's
universe
so
telling you
amazing.
something, I think. isn't it?
That's
Like,
right,
yeah,
the
yeah,
universe,
you've got to appreciate that, I think, and
So
keep
even my
going.
wife, Robin, who has been great support, but I don't think she's as passionate as I am. Well, I know she's not. But even Robin said, nah, look, now we must, we've got to keep this rolling because that's a damn good achievement for someone, with such limited resources. So then planning began to upsize and try and get into a brewery that was going to make enough beer so that we could make a profit. And we're still yet to do that, but the numbers are going forward and going up, and we're paying the bills, and it's looking pretty good. 2020 started off fantastic. Everything was just starting to come together. Then COVID came along and whacked us in the face like everyone else.
Yeah.
But we managed to switch pretty quickly, change direction. We got straight on the front foot and did our COVID super special, $65 cartons, delivered, within Adelaide metro country. And
I
that
jumped
was,
straight on that,
you
by
did,
the way.
you did.
Yeah.
That was,
No, we'll
brilliant.
see. It was actually a good thing in a way, if there is any good things to come out of the situation, is that I think a lot of people tried our beer that maybe didn't have access to it or hadn't tried it before, and I think we've broadened our audience, so to speak, by doing that, and it helped us out of a tight spot. Obviously, it's not replaced being open and being
Obviously
able to
not.
sell, but it was a good thing at the time.
Hopefully we come out of this with a brand new consumer base, I guess, and start spreading the word a bit about this lovely little tap house and brewery.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing that the downtime gave us. It gave us the time to make a few changes and smarten the place up a little bit. And
It looks
quite
amazing, by the
welcoming
way.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put some photos up, but there's some lovely fairy lights, the old festoon lighting as well over the top of the seating area.
Yeah.
It's changed a bit since I was here a year and a half ago or so, and it's amazing little spot. You can see you having a few cheekies here on a weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can we go into this wet hop? Is that pale ale or IPA?
Pale ale.
Wet hop
an
pale
English
ale.
style pale.
And if we could give our listening audience a bit of tasting notes from the man himself, would be brilliant. So on the aroma, mate, what are they looking for?
Well, there's a little bit of the earthy English hops in there. It's very subdued.
Lovely aroma though. That doesn't punch you in the face at all. But it
doesn't.
The bitterness is not over the top. A lot of people
that's right up our alley, I think.
come in and they think wet hop means something overloaded with hops.
Okay.
But this is very balanced. The hop flavour's there. The malt is there as well in the background. You've got some nice biscuit, even slight honey. But the hops is still present all the way through. It's more of a resinous, oily flavour.
That's what I agree with
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense to me.
Oily might not be something, but I think that's what you get from your wet hops, because obviously they're not dried out, so you do have a lot of the oils in them. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a good quaffer.
Yeah, so this to me is a summer beer. A footy beer, we like to call them, I think, on our little podcast.
Yeah.
You grab a 6-pack of these and enjoy the football on the sidelines or watch
absolutely.
the cricket.
Not overly carved either. We've got a couple of beers that are higher up in carbonation, but most of our beers are probably at the lower end. I seem to find, as I get older and understand the flavours and the beers, especially the ones that I like, is that the Poms were actually right.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, wow. There you go.
Well, at this time of year, I'm quite happy to drink my beer at room temperature or ambient temperature.
Yes.
Which at the moment in the Barossa is
pretty
only
cool.
about 14 degrees tops.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once again, you get the fuller flavour. The malt comes out in it.
It's a really flavourful beer, and I think
Yeah.
it's one of those ones we like to call a gateway beer, in my opinion.
Yes.
I think it's enough flavour and hop aroma and stuff that the craft beer snobs will still appreciate everything about it. But I could easily give this to a couple of my mates who don't drink craft beer, and they would sit here and enjoy every drop of it.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And that's we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's what I can, and I've said that 3 or 4 times already. It doesn't mean we don't experiment.
Clearly not. That's a fridge full of different styles, mate. It's amazing.
We've got a smoky IPA, which is based on a German Rausch beer.
Oh wow.
And so even this one, it's a very palatable gateway beer, you might say, but there's a lot of flavours going in.
Still a lot of flavour. What would you pair this with, Brenton? What if you were having a meal or day out? What would you pair this with? That's the other thing our listeners tend to ask a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'd say fish and chips.
Yeah.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, that goes.
Stay, down the beach.
Yeah.
Fish and chips. That'd be my recommendation.
Lots of fish and chips.
Yep.
Wet hop English pale ale. Beach.
Esky.
Yeah.
Ticking off
Rehn
a few
Bier,
boxes.
we're done there. That's a day sorted.
What we might do is thank you very much for that first segment, mate. That was absolutely insightful. We are going to maybe just draw a line under segment 1 there. We'll have a quick 2-3 minute break, and then we'll come back with our segment 2. Talk a bit about more about the brewery today, what else you've been brewing, stuff like that, and give you guys some tasting notes on another beer. All right, so if we sit tight, we'll be back in 5. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. All right, welcome back everybody to segment 2 of Beer and That Brewers Edition. We're here with Brenton from Rehn Bier. Now we were very lucky, then weren't we, Andrew?
We were.
We've had a tour of the brew house and the brewery, and I actually had to cut it short because I didn't want any more information not being recorded. So Brenton, tell us about what beer we got this segment, and a bit about the brewery, the tasting room, your space here, mate.
Okay. Well, the second beer we've got is the Barossa Valley Pilsner. Ella hops throughout. It's
can I just say, I love you. I've had one sniff of that. I'm sorry to interrupt. I shouldn't have done that.
That's all
but
right.
please continue. Ella hops.
Yeah. Just Ella hops, Australian hops. 50% of the malt is from local maltsters, and it's just a nice bitterness, prominent bitterness is what you should have, I think, in your Pilsner, and we've got that. It's a nice clear beer.
It is very clear.
The colour is amazing to me.
It is.
Look, mate. Look, I can read my laptop through that.
And nice gold. And that's all done without filtration.
No filtration.
No. Time and temperature. Yeah.
Control. That's what we were just talking about over in the brewery.
Control.
Yeah.
So once again, it's our interpretation. It's not a Czech Pilsner. It's a Barossa Valley Pilsner.
I'd go as far to say this is almost a perfect example of the style. Like I've been recently doing the Cicerone and stuff, studying and learning about style guidelines and stuff. This tastes like just a perfect Pilsner to me.
The malt is there. It's some people, a lot of people think it reminds them of a German lager because of the malt profile.
So I think the bitterness is lovely though.
Yeah.
That's
Bitterness is more prominent because it's a Pilsner rather than a lager. And it's just that once again, it's nothing fantastic, as in, it's not got, I don't know, the tears of a Tibetan yak or anything in it. It's just a good beer. But it's also not watery.
It's such a testament to you guys in this brewery though, because it is such a clean. It's really easy to mess a beer like this up. There's nothing to hide behind here. This is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in this style can sometimes be reaching for something that isn't there.
Yeah.
Being someone that's, like I always say, newer to this style of beer because I was never really into it that much till recently. But this seems really just no bullshit, Yeah. You've made what you intended to.
It's not supposed to, knock your socks off in a over the top sort of way. None of our beers are though. They're all our beers are meant to be easy drinking, flavoursome beers. I always think it's got to the stage where a lot of craft brewers they're sort of ignoring good beer styles in favour of chocolate milkshake, double IPA,
we talk about this a little bit.
black, whatever.
We're very much in your corner
it
here.
seems to be a race to the weirdest, and I don't begrudge anyone that. That's fine, and I guess those beers have a place. People like them, and that's good. But I can't come at that sort of thing myself. My personal preference is, I've spent nearly 20 years trying to brew a nice, clear, clean beer. I'm not going to make a cloudy beer. That's not what we do.
I think we know what we're talking
And
about.
this is, and this is part of that. Lagers and pilsners probably get a bad rap because of what the larger companies ended
Yeah.
up
The
doing to
macros,
them.
Yeah, I think
They,
that's where my
Yeah, they destroyed the style because they abandoned the brewing traditions and principles
to
in
mass produce
favour of
and
mass-produced,
sales. Yeah.
standardised beer, which included using,
Adjuncts.
corn starches, corn sugar and rice, and in Australia, cane sugar, because it's cheap.
Yeah.
But what they did was took all the flavour out. And now you find people, and once again, they sell a lot more super dry than I'll ever sell of our beers. But I don't know how people can drink it.
I totally agree.
Because they
with
don't know that
they
this
don't know that it
exists.
exists.
They
That's
think-
the thing.
They think, and I'm not
Put
trying
that
to,
in front of them.
I'm not trying to single out super dry or,
We
whatever.
can
Any
bleep
of
that
those
out if
big-
you want. We can just put a nice line.
No, but any of those bigger beers, like, it's not about the flavour. They
It's
say
not.
it is, but it's not.
It's the advertising.
So anyway,
We come from we come from that background where we were
Yeah.
drinkers of those styles of beers a lot until we found craft beer, and then we are actively, obviously with our social medias and stuff, trying to push people towards
Yeah.
craft beer. Our mates, how many people have we turned?
Yeah, a lot.
You
A
know,
lot.
Just
Yeah.
showing them that this stuff
Oh, that's
exists
right.
and
Yeah.
it's not. Look at the look at
Yeah,
how
the
that
lacing,
clinks to
yeah,
the glass.
Mine as well. Eh?
Sorry, I'm just I keep getting sidetracked because it's just.
Yeah.
We got to remind people it's 10:30 a.m. and we're happily drinking beers right now. So
well, breakfast beer.
breakfast beer.
But yeah, I probably don't want to get sidetracked onto that,
No.
craft beer, macro beer, juxtaposition or whatever. But we have people coming in here now, and they buy our Pilsner, they love it.
Yeah,
And they're just traditional beer drinkers, they're not looking for anything
no,
fancy or particular, but they just appreciate that, hey, this
they
is...
want a normal beer
Yeah.
in
And,
the
and we love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
great, The more of those people we can get on board, the better.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Now talking about all things Rehn Bier and your brewery, mate.
Yeah.
Please give us a bit of a. I know you're going to be repeating yourself a little bit because
That's
you
all
did
right.
so well with us, but tell us a bit about your
Yeah.
brew house, your brewery, and please
Well-
explain to us why it's used as such a textbook
Yeah.
example of a perfect brewery by one Stephen Nelson.
Because, well, firstly, it's made in India. And it's doing the job. We got the brewery over. It's a 1,000 litre brewery. It's a 4-vessel brewery. We've got the heated mash, a lauder, the kettle, whirlpool, and then the whirlpool. So it breaks it down into the different processes. It's accessible from both sides, the platform, so you can come up one side and down the other, or
We'll put some
the other
photos
and
up
back.
Yeah.
to explain that better, but
Yeah.
it's
And there's a nice spacing around it. You can get a forklift all the way around if you need to. I mean, we don't do that very often because we do have to shift a few things around. The cooling was twice as the size as what's required. So the chiller, so that's for future expansion.
future proofing. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fermenters run along the back wall, and there's at least probably 2 metres, over 2 metres between there and the brew house, which gives us a nice uncluttered area to get our bins in to empty the mash.
It is very spacious. Like walking through there, what it's Simo. Like
And we're carrying some weight at the moment, so it's
COVID
fit us
weight,
in.
lockdown weight.
yeah,
we can
we'll
blend
say that, yeah.
So that allows us to get the grain bins in and out nice and easy. It also allows us to set up our little bottle filler in the middle, in between, so we can bottle off our beer, because everything's done here. We are a proper production brewery.
Hey, there we go.
that's brilliant.
We get the grain in, we get the hops and the yeast and whatever in, and we brew it, we ferment it, we condition it, we bottle it, we label the bottles, we fill the kegs. We We
Everything
do what
is
we
done
say
here.
we do. We're
Yeah.
not a label. We don't run off and get someone else to do this and someone else to do that. It's all done right here, and we're very proud of that.
That's probably one of the things I noticed that you guys do as a brewery compared to others, I guess. That's one of my points here is that everything is literally here. It's you guys doing everything.
Yeah,
And that's really, really cool.
where we're sitting in the bar area, we've got tables, chairs, fire, and you
Amongst
can
the
look
brewery.
over, and the brewery's like, if you want, you can sit within a metre of the brewery.
That's what people love, though.
Yeah, I think
too,
it's really
sitting-
important for the
sitting
consumer,
amongst
you know,
it.
and
Yeah.
when it's craft beer and you're walking around, you know, doing bits and pieces while
And the fact
someone's having a
is,
beer.
if you come in and on the right time or at certain times, we may even be brewing, and people we invite people come up and have a look, you know.
That smell of word in it. That's
smell,
what you want.
yeah, exactly. And if you're also if you're here on the right days, you can even hear the ferment in the background.
How good is
So,
that? And isn't
it's-
it like the perfect example again of craft beer? Is that it's 10 metres between where it was actually made and where we're drinking.
Drinking
it.
it, yeah, that's right.
It doesn't go anywhere else. It goes there to the fermenter and to us, and that's like you can't have beer any fresher, any cleaner from the people who make it. Like,
That's
And the couple
right.
I've had are certainly testament to that. That's for sure.
yeah,
So, yeah, we we pride ourselves on being. We're not we're a family business, so we are here. You know, my wife and I, we the owners. I'm the brewer, and we're the people that'll serve you more often than not.
isn't that
you know.
brilliant? As
Yeah,
well?
that is.
And if you want to ask the brewer a question,
Yeah, he's right
standing
there.
He's there.
Yeah, how good's that? That's what you want.
So, we encourage people to come and have a look at our little setup.
And you were saying earlier, I know no one will obviously hear for this, but the setup is maybe due to the fact that you're brewing in a shed earlier.
Yes. Oh,
To
look,
make the
back
brew
in
days in the
the,
brewery easy.
it was harder brewing in our back shed than it is here. Everything was cramped. Everything was very manual. I mean, everything is still controlled here manually, as in, turning pumps on and off, opening valves. But yeah, that's why it's set up like it is. It's set up for ease of access and ease of use. And so you're not tripping over things, because brewing on the hot side, that's why it's called the hot side, it can be dangerous, you get hot wort over you and stuff like that. So the last thing you need to do is to be tripping over things, trying to squeeze around. So it's
It's a really
nice and
important
open.
point, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
people don't think about that.
One thing that I
No,
loved was
that's-
just doing a brew recently myself on a larger system. The louder ton that you've got, the pulling the spent grain out is at chest
It's at
height.
a good height.
It's-
Yeah,
you're not
you
kneeling
don't,
down,
you're not
shuffling.
reaching up. Or, yeah,
It's just one of those
And,
things. Simo and I both looked at each other and were like, this is the kind of system we want to brew on.
Yeah, and I must say the Indians, the company I bought it from, they're pretty good on their engineering side of it. I thought we looked at China as well for a system, but the fact is the Indian one here is actually, I think, thought through a bit better and designed better. We've made a
Okay.
few little changes, just a bit of the piping and where it goes to and from, but basically everything was really well
Engineered.
as
Yeah.
in designed. It was designed pretty well with the heights and the way things flow. Basically, we use 2 pumps. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all we need.
It's a well thought out brew space.
It is. And the fermenters, I think they were well resolved. They've got twin cooling. You've got cooling on the body of the fermenter for your ferment, and then in the cone there's cooling as well for cold crashing. And,
Oh,
and that.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why we've got 3 pipes, 2 inlets for the glycol and 1 outlet. So we've got a fermentation.
Which is
And,
also future proofed, by the way.
It
We can
is.
see.
Yes. The chilling system is configured for twice the size of the brewery at the moment, because that's, obviously we're going to grow. We have to grow. We will grow.
That's the plan.
That's not even a given the question. That's just going to happen. So we designed this and planned it with that in mind. Everyone wants to spend as little as they have to, because unless you're very fortunate, no one's got endless cash.
No,
But
absolutely
you need
not.
to also plan ahead, because spending that little bit or oversizing your cooling at the beginning is going to be a lot easier and cheaper than having to ramp it up later on.
That's one thing
well
we get
planned.
taught over and over as well.
That's our philosophy anyway. I mean, people may disagree, and that's fine. But no, that's what we've looked at doing, and that's also the reason why there's a big area between the cellar and the brew house now, because we can actually fit another row of fermenters in, and then we would still have room to brew comfortably.
Hopefully they're coming
So-
soon, mate. They're all going to be really full.
But that's it. Hey, your listeners out there, everyone sort of, well, not everyone, but if you're thinking along the lines of doing something like this, I'd encourage people to do it, but plan it.
Plan it.
Plan it.
Absolutely. Well, what we might do just to wrap up segment 2 is we've had a bit of a tasting note and stuff. Brenton, what are we eating with this lovely pilsner here? How are we enjoying this beer?
Oh, look, I think you could have this with a... two ways you could go. You could probably have it with something light, like a chicken salad, or
for
you
the
could
guys
go
like
the
Simo?
other way. I know people think that IPAs go with Asian food, but see, this is something you could have with Asian
Yeah, I
Thai
was actually
food,
thinking
something
that.
like
yeah,
Thai food.
Yeah, I was
think.
actually thinking that.
Yeah,
The
But I
light
agree,
body,
either
the
way.
bitterness, the
yeah.
refreshing.
Cuts through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is. Well, I wouldn't drink it with a steak. I'm not telling anyone not to, but this, I think with a steak you'd be looking at something different to this. But something lighter,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of chili and lime flavours, or
I like that.
your chicken salad.
There we
something
go.
Like that, Thai spicy.
Yep.
From the mouth there. All right, we're gonna wrap up segment 2 just quickly, and we'll come back with segment 3 a little bit more on what's in store for the future of Rehn Bier and another amazing beer. All right, see you in 5 minutes.
Cheers.
All right, hello and welcome back, everyone. We got segment 3, the final segment of our Brewers Edition here with Brenton from Rehn Bier, and tell us what we've got in our glasses, mate. This
Okay.
is looking lovely.
So this one is our extra stout, and 6% alcohol, so it's not over the top, but a really nice beer to drink anytime, not just winter.
The first sip,
Yeah.
it's rich, chocolatey,
Rich.
roasty.
Roasty, chocolatey,
Smooth vanilla.
yeah. There's
Smooths out, doesn't it? Oh, big time.
there's lots of stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's no, it's the best beer. I think. Well, I don't know if it's the best beer we make, but it's a really good beer.
Now, you say that it's not the best beer, but is this not the gold medal winning stout we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, this one's won a couple of golds over the time. Well, every time we enter it. But
Every time.
and
So
the
you
good thing is, this one we haven't had off the tap. We've had it out of the bottle. So it's probably 10, 11 degrees.
Yes.
So you get all that.
And the mouthfeel is just full.
Yeah. I don't like them too cold. If you drink your stout too cold, it doesn't work.
This is perfect.
This temperature opens up the flavour. You get the aromas.
How
Yeah,
long
I
did
know.
it take you to perfect this recipe? Can I ask?
Oh, look, I don't know if it is perfected.
Well,
That's
The medals will
that's
suggest.
But no, well, it's always, that's the home brewer coming through, you see.
Yeah.
I'm not I've done some brewing courses and things, but I haven't got a diploma in anything,
okay.
so to speak. And, I play with the recipes all the time. Like even this one. This one had a couple of kilos less chocolate. And the brew that we've just done, we put a little bit more chocolate in it.
Okay.
And sometimes, it just depends how I'm feeling.
So continuously tweaking.
Yeah, okay.
So-
I don't really change, the basic recipe doesn't change. But I'll swap in a couple of kilos here and swap out a couple of kilos there. And that'll just give you a nuance.
Do you record all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we put pale malt, ale malt, crystal malt, chocolate malt, roast barley, oats. What else do we put in it? Molasses,
Really?
yes. And there's another adjunct we put in it as well. Another one of those molasses type things. Sorry, I've drawn a blank.
No, you don't have to give away your whole recipe either.
That's all right. Look, you can have 5 brewers with the same recipe and you'll get 5 different beers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, all that secrecy is a bit of a nuance, bit of a quirk. I mean, look at Cooper's. They give their yeast away in every bottle of their beer they sell, and other people won't tell you what yeast they use.
Yeah.
Like, how does it work?
No, exactly.
I guess, it's each to their own. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No,
now. See,
mate. You keep
I
going. That is
start
perfect.
talking beer and then you say something and my mind goes that way.
I love it.
And
That's
We're
really
kindred
good.
spirit here,
It's,
I think. You and me.
yeah.
I'm a little bit like that myself.
one of those things. But back to the stout. Look, it's the best stout you'll find in the world.
you say that right, but we actually had a bit of a tasting not long ago. We did a tasting a couple years back, and I think we enjoyed the Shifty Lizard stout was our go-to, and just recently we've tried yours and Silverbark breweries, and this one was just amazing, Brent. It is just.
Yeah.
We were sitting there just like we need more. It is such a good beer.
Yeah, I know a few people that definitely need to try this that wouldn't have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Get it into their hands, so I'll be
I love that one
taking
of my
some to
little
them.
notes here is any awards or accolades. And as you pull up and pull through the front door, there is literally a wall of awards the beers have won.
Yeah, we haven't won any trophies yet.
Anything that stands out for you that is like a big, this is a real proud moment, or what's your...
Look, I'm just proud of the fact that Robin and I have managed to get where we are.
It's
impressive.
It's a credit
Yeah,
to you. It
yeah.
is. It's absolutely
You know,
amazing.
we've done it off our own bat and with the help of some close family and some good friends. But we're fiercely independent, we haven't gone out seeking investors, and we haven't wanted any investors at this stage because we've wanted it to be
Yours.
ours.
Yeah. I love that.
It's probably taken us longer to do things, because we've had to wait and scrape and grow as we've been able to afford it. But it's
There's a lot of pride in that.
yeah,
I think there's a lot of it's like not getting a handout from mum and dad to buy a car, saving up for yourself. You're more proud of that $1,000 VL than you are of that $10,000
Highlights.
highlights.
yeah. Yeah. No, well, that's right. I mean, that's why we called it Rehn Bier as well. I can't remember who, but a quote I heard a long time ago was, if you're going to start a business and you're not willing to put your own name on it, why should anyone buy anything from you? And
You're
that
not gonna
being
stand
that
by
if
it,
if you're going to be in a business, you got to be proud of it, and you got to be proud enough to put your own name on it. And that's something that's always resonated with me, and so that's why it's Rehn Bier.
I love the logo too. Can I ask?
Why the cock?
What is the gentleman in the middle?
That's me. Yeah, I'm the head cock. No, that's actually lifted from the Rehn coat of arms,
Okay.
from the crest.
That's everything that you want to hear too,
course,
isn't it?
yeah.
But that is just
Yeah,
everything about
It's,
that is family.
So, I don't know, somebody, back in, I guess, 15th century to 17th century, back in Germany, was given a coat of arms or created a coat of arms. I don't know how that all happens, but anyway, we did a bit of research, and that's what came up.
I love that that's so central to all of your bottles as well. The labels on all the bottles, it's you can identify a Rehn Bier from a mile away.
Yeah, you can.
And I really like that. Everything's different. Every beer is different, and once you have a look at it, there's a little nuance on every beer. But you've got
That's right.
You've got your definite brand. It's lovely.
We picked that up, I don't want to sound, like we don't know everything.
No one does.
I know most things. But no, Samuel Adams, the American mega craft brewer.
Yes.
All their labels are basically the same. I think they do have some special release ones, but most of their mainstream line beers are all basically the same label, with the guy standing there.
Yes.
Only thing that varies is the colours, and I thought I liked that idea because, like you said, then if you look at a label, you see the logo, like you see that label, and you know that's what it is.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly what beer it is straight away, so you have to go and look at it, unless you know your colours really well.
Yeah, of course.
We're hoping to get to know them really well. But
You look at a Sam Adams label, and you don't actually have to be close enough to be able to read it to know that it's a Sam Adams. Same with ours. You don't have to be close enough to read the words, but just by looking at that label, you'll know that it's a Rehn Bier. So
I love it.
there you go.
So there's another thing that I noticed on the board, and I heard you guys talking about it. Beef and stout pies.
Yes.
Please share.
Okay. Well, we offer lighter meals and snacks. We're not a restaurant. We don't pretend to be. We don't want to try and go there. But one thing that we do have done with our extra stout, our amazing extra stout, is get a baker from Kapunda, which is on the outskirts of the Barossa there, and he makes a beef stout pie for us, which is our stout. Chunky beef and veg and a little bit of potato in the middle, so
Beautiful.
quite good. And they probably go pretty well with the stout.
Yeah, I reckon
No, they do. I've had a few. I've had too many pies and too many stouts. You can tell. But no, it's actually good because it ties in. It ties in with us, with the beer, and
Just
it
the way
ties
it's
in
local.
with the feel of our place being a warm, friendly place where you feel like you're almost in your mate's shed, or something like that. We don't have, like I said, we're not a restaurant, but pie, toasted sandwiches,
Beer. Yeah, I'm all about
good
that.
stuff.
Beer.
I'm all about that. Yeah, just it's about the beer, not food as such.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I want people to come here and enjoy and remember the beer, not the lousy
palmy.
that we tried to throw together.
Yeah, the cold chips.
That doesn't
yeah.
do anybody any good.
Yeah.
I mean, go out to a place and have a nice palmy. Then
Yeah.
come here and have a great beer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's what you're doing. You're crafting your beers here.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question I love asking our brewers when we do these. Why these 3 beers in particular? Just to recap, we had
I
the
think we
wet,
know why
the wet
then.
hot pale ale
Well, the wet hot
Pilsner.
pale ale,
and the stout.
firstly, because I think that's unique to us, and the fact that we use hops from Caton Hop Garden, so they're locally grown. The Pilsner, because it's also using local malt, but because it's a mainstream style that everyone is familiar with,
Approachable.
and we make one that's
Amazing.
available. But it's different but the same in a good way.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
And then the stout, well, because the stout, that's one of our icon beers. We've been making that. I've been making that for I don't know over 10 years now, and it's just a damn good beer.
It is.
Yeah.
Simple
It
as
is,
that.
All 3, but the stout is.
I'd have to say that was my favourite
Yeah.
out of the. And
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think I've tried every beer in your selection pretty much, and that was the not like it stands out like that, but
Yeah.
that's the one that I was like, oh, that's keep that. That's in my fridge every day from now on.
Yeah.
Now, so have we gone through? No, we've gone through the pairing, haven't we? We're pairing this lovely stout with the
Straight with bakery.
with the bakery,
With the
beef
pie.
stout.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
the beef stout pie.
If
sorry.
you want to go market, you can have it with your casseroles, slow cooks,
Slow cook.
Good time of year
Even,
for that.
uh,
Absolutely, yeah.
even roast meat. You find that it actually goes with desserts as well. Vanilla. You mentioned that some of the flavour in there is
the
vanilla,
smoothness
so
and the
it goes
sweetness,
with maybe
Just pour it straight in the bowl, do we? Straight over
ice
the ice
cream.
cream.
Yeah.
What do they
Slush
call
it.
that?
I don't know.
It's a thing, isn't it? That's a really good one. I like that.
Slush it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, 'cause we
Vanilla and stout.
vanilla
Yeah,
and stout.
slush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really like
yeah.
it. We don't normally pair with anything
Yeah.
besides, the warm food. So this is,
Yeah,
I
that's
really like the dessert
interesting,
pairing
yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And because we've taken up way too much of your time already, Brenton, we're going to try and get this done. Another question. This is what I want. Basically, you to kind of tell our listeners and our audience what you want them to think of when they think of Rehn Bier. Like, what is this brewery?
Well, the brewery, I would like people to think of Rehn Bier and quality in the same. When they think Rehn Bier, they think quality. Authenticity, which is a catchword maybe, but authentic to the area, true to ourselves, and so that people know they're getting an authentic product.
I think that's evident.
That-
I mean, a lot
oh.
of people, like, whenever your name comes up, it's always very much...
And
You got
also-
to go try it from the tap.
From
speak
the,
to
because,
Brenton.
yeah, speak.
Yeah.
That's also what I like to people to think is that if they come in and say hello, they'll get a small and they'll feel welcomed and
It does. It feels really lovely in here.
Yeah.
Real family environment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
all
we
that.
get lots of, people bring their children in.
Yep.
Pre-COVID, they used to play with the games and everything. We had games for the kids. But the kids, are welcome and the games kept them occupied and the parents could have a quiet beer,
Relax.
Um,
I'm a parent myself
You are,
now,
yeah.
so that speaks
yeah.
volumes to me about coming in here and knowing I can,
Yeah.
easily bring my boy in here, and my brother has a young family as well. Having them come here, I think this is perfect for that. And sometimes we don't want to say that just in case it's not not that everyone always wants screaming children around, but if it's a place for family, it feels like that here.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah. That's basically it, We don't want to... it's just a nice place to visit and you get really good beer. So, yeah, if they think of Rehn Bier and they think of quality and authenticity.
craft.
I think you're doing the right thing.
That's the
for
way.
sure.
That's what we're looking to do.
We've ticked all those boxes, I think, haven't we, mate? We can fully endorse that.
Tick and flick.
Yeah.
So, look, we'd love to say thank you very much for having us here, Brenton. It's been amazing. Wicked tour of the brewery. Amazing beers. The listeners, we'll put up some stuff on where they can find you and your the brewery, where you can find Rehn Biers. But yeah, let us know your socials, the address, all of that kind of stuff, mate.
Yeah, well, just on that, we've got a distributor in Adelaide, Empire Liquor. So if you want to get hold of our beer, either as a licensed venue or a customer, and you can't find it in your local, first thing to do is to complain to your local. Second thing to do is to ring Empire or us. But if that still isn't helping, then get online and become a beer buddy.
A beer buddy.
Nice.
That's our mailing list, and that gets you access to all our newsletters. We're not going to bombard you, okay? We don't send out 3 a week. We probably send out 3 in 4 months, if that. But they'll contain offers and upcoming events, specials.
Lovely.
Keep you in the
that
loop.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you'll know, people will know when we're having special functions on, because I know it's a bit up and down at the moment with environment for having at events, but we do have a Oktoberfest. Had some German dancers, and
Oh,
it
nice.
really went off last year.
Okay.
We have barbecue nights and things like that. So if you're on the mailing list, you'll find out about them. And
Is that the best way to keep in touch with you guys, I guess, then?
yeah, that or the website.
Website?
Our website is looking a little worse for wear, but we've nearly got a new one
Okay.
made up behind the scenes, which will be going live, hopefully in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
You've
or
got a Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah, we're on Facebook, so friend us and whatever you do on there, and that'll be great.
Lovely. We'll put all of those links in the descriptions below. I'll give you guys a bit of information on these guys on Instagram also. But again, thank you very much, Brenton, and your lovely family for having us. Can't wait to take home some
It's been fantastic.
lovely beer, mate. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you very much, Brenton.
Thank you, guys.
See you all down at the brewery.